Good evening. This is Pulse of PNG, your trusted source for credible news and in-depth reporting on the issues that shape our nation. Tonight, our top story takes us to the Highlands, where Southern Highlands Governor William Powi and several of his senior officials are fighting serious contempt of court charges in the National Court in Mount Hagen. This long-running legal battle goes to the very heart of governance, accountability, and respect for the rule of law in Papua New Guinea. The story begins back in August 2019, when the country went to the polls for local level government, or LLG, elections. In the Southern Highlands, 4 council presidents, Joseph Kunukunu, Jack Kipoi, Francis Walipa, and Jacob Iki, were declared winners. However, allegations quickly surfaced over the fairness and conduct of the election process in parts of the province. On November 4, 2019, the National Court, presided over by Justice Colin McKyle, delivered a decisive ruling. The election for these LLG seats was declared null and void. The court found there were serious irregularities that undermined the credibility of the results. That ruling effectively stripped the 4 presidents of their positions and ordered that their appointments be treated as invalid. Not willing to accept the outcome, Governor Powi and his team appealed the decision to the Supreme Court, hoping to overturn it and keep the presidents in office. But the higher court upheld the National Court's decision, dismissing the appeal on April 25, 2022. An earlier attempt to secure a stay order in May 2020 had also failed. In the eyes of the law, this meant that from November 2019, the 4 LLG presidents should have vacated their posts. However, this is where the controversy deepened. It is alleged that despite the court's clear orders, Governor Powi, who chairs the Southern Highlands Provincial Assembly, along with Provincial Administrator David, Assembly Clerk Leo Valley, and the 4 nullified presidents continued to recognize and operate with these officials as though nothing had changed. This alleged defiance sparked a new legal fight, this time in the form of contempt of court proceedings. The charge is serious. It means the court believes its authority may have been openly ignored, an act that strikes at the very foundation of how the law must be upheld in Papua New Guinea. In their recent appearance at the National Court in Mount Hagen, Governor Powi and all other named officials pleaded not guilty to the contempt charges. However, there was added drama when former Provincial Administrator Jerry David failed to appear in court. This prompted the judge to issue a bench warrant for his arrest, an order used to compel someone to attend court when they fail to appear. That warrant has since been stayed after an explanation for his absence was accepted, but the seriousness of the situation remains. Justice Joseph Crowley, who is presiding over the matter, has adjourned the case to October 21, 2025. On that day, final submissions on both the question of guilt and any possible penalties will be heard. For the people of the Southern Highlands, this case has stirred mixed emotions. Many say it highlights the ongoing challenges around governance and the respect leaders must show for court decisions. Others see it as part of a wider pattern where powerful figures are too often able to sidestep legal rulings without consequences. Critics argue that if leaders can ignore court orders and continue operating as usual, it sets a dangerous precedent, not just for the Southern Highlands, but for local-level government throughout Papua New Guinea. They say it undermines faith in the judicial system and makes it harder for ordinary citizens to trust that the rule of law applies equally to everyone, no matter their position or political influence. Supporters of Governor Powi, meanwhile, insist he has always acted in the best interest of the province and that any administrative issues should not overshadow the work he has done to drive development and manage complex political realities in one of PNG's most resource-rich yet politically sensitive regions. As the October court date approaches, all eyes will be on the National Court in Mount Hagen to see whether the contempt charges hold and what penalties, if any, might be handed down. A conviction could carry significant consequences, from heavy fines to possible disqualification from holding public office, depending on the court's decision. In the meantime, Governor Powi remains in office, leading the Southern Highlands and maintaining his influence in both provincial and national politics. But the unresolved case now casts a long shadow over his administration and could have lasting impacts on how court rulings are respected by those in power. Pulse of PNG will continue to monitor this story closely and keep you informed as new developments unfold. For now, this case stands as a powerful reminder that in a democracy, no one, not even a governor, is above the law. Stay with us for more verified news and the real stories behind the headlines. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us online, and share your views in the comments. Do you think leaders in PNG should face stronger consequences for ignoring court decisions? We want to hear what you think. This is Pulse of PNG, bringing you news that matters.